Hey guys, it's Daniel and Mariah here, and today we're going to be talking about one of the best pieces of relationship advice J. Cole ever gave.
So for those of you who don't know, J. Cole is a rap artist, he's a poet, he's an inspiration of mine when it comes to creativity.
He's a basketball player right here.
He's a baller, but I've been a fan of his for the last 15 years. Like he's been in the game for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe 12 years, but it's been a while,
Yeah.
long story short. And he has a song called Love Yours that I think that really drills down to a real key lesson when it comes to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific part, basically the whole theme of the song is this idea of appreciating what you have, recognizing and actually cherishing what's in front of you as opposed to longing after what other people have. And there's specifically a line in the song, or 3 lines in the song I should say, where he really kind of hammers down on this. He says, there's always going to be a whip that's better than the one you've got. Always going to be some clothes that's fresher than the ones you rock. Always gonna be a girl, he uses a different word, that's badder out there on tours, but you ain't never gonna be happy till you love yours. And I love this line so much because I feel like in our culture today, where Instagram and even TikTok, Pinterest culture has you aspiring after a type of person, type of male or type of female.
Yeah.
It's almost like people use the language like it girl or
it guy.
Yeah. Where you see the people on Instagram that look so made up, the best clothes ever, and people feel like there's this perfect girl, perfect guy out there.
Yeah.
That it almost erodes at the contentment they have in the relationship they're in.
It's like the grass is always greener on the other side.
The grass is always greener on the other side, and I think that it's almost like there's this new immersion of baddyism on Instagram. Is that a word? Can we coin that word, baddyism?
Baddie phenomena.
The baddie phenomena, or the baddie mirage. The concept of a mirage is you're in the desert and a mix between the heat waves and the sand makes you look out into the distance and it looks like there's water.
Yeah.
And you're walking towards there and you're it's water. And you get there, you jump for it, and then your face is full of sand, but there actually isn't water. And it's almost like the same thing with the baddie mirage. It's all these girls or guys. Yeah. Guys can be baddies too, can't they be? No. We're gonna go with
debate.
It.
Up for debate.
We're gonna go with it. But it's these guys and girls look so good on Instagram.
The way they're
Pinterest,
presenting themselves online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it has people feeling this measure of discontentment in their relationship. But you have to remember, when you're in a relationship, you see every part of that person. You see them with makeup, without makeup,
totally.
At their best, at their worst, sick, healthy.
Yeah, and I feel like the term baddie, it makes it seem like we're just talking about looks, but there's also a side of social media where you can be showing yourself, or people can be showing themselves to be super charitable or super family oriented or super kind, and it's they're showing the best parts of themselves. So it's so easy to look out into the world, especially online, and be man, that person seems really awesome, and start to think, what would life be like with them when you're with someone? And so this line from J. Cole is so important.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you're left with a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a fiance.
Yeah.
And it's just you two, no makeup, sweats on, comfortable clothes at the end of the day. And what you're left with is their personality and your friendship. And so it's at the end of the day, looks are great. One of the things that stood out to me about you was how pretty you are. But at the end of the day, it's looks aren't going to take you through bad seasons.
Tragedies.
Tragedies. Sickness,
you're not going to be oh man, one of my parents died, but at least my wife is
my
beautiful.
Girl's bad. No one ever is gonna say that, or I'm going through so much, but my husband is handsome.
Is at least jacked.
Yeah, no one's gonna say that. No one's gonna say that. So it's so important for us to really recognize and cherish what's in front of you. Recognize and cherish the relationship you have.
And pour into it. Your relationship, even if it's like, I feel like I want to say this for people, maybe they're struggling in their relationship, whether it's marriage or dating right now. It's like, you guys can make it beautiful by pouring into it, especially if in a marriage context, you've already committed to one another. And so it's like, if you're having a hard time and struggling, what are certain things you can do to really prioritize that in the next year to see transformation and see change? And to love yours, to really pour into the one you chose. Right?
And I love that J. Cole saying this, because sometimes, especially younger guys, will be like, oh, like, if I can only have the life that rappers have, where they get what they want, they have money, women are throwing themselves at them. And he's like sitting back and being like, to be honest, true contentment isn't found in the girls on tour. True contentment's found when I love mine. Like what's mine, what's right in front of me. So I think it's important for us to like step back, take the words of a guy who is successful in a lot of ways. Does have a lot of networking power and ability, but he's even saying like, okay, let's step back. So I just thought it was a really good go on J. Cole's part to really name that as a thing.
Yeah, so good.
And at the end of the day, like, everyone takes makeup off, everyone ages, everyone goes through tragedy.
Or you could go through something in which like renders you completely unable, or like just changes your life, and like whether it be mental health or like something about your physical like ability changes. And like the thing about marriage is you're like committing to that person, like for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. And so like you're not I was just gonna say, like, you're not committing to them like for bad or for not. Like you're committing to them through everything, not just, oh, when I married them when they were 24 and I wish I could preserve them that way. It's like, you're like, no, I want to live life with this person. And life comes with aging. Life comes with changes that you don't expect.
So don't fall for the mirage that social media sometimes puts before us. Because no one's perfect, no one's ideal. Oftentimes when you get close to someone, you realize their imperfection. It's so important to love the relationship you have and really invest into it. Because at the end of the day, you get out what you put into it. And so, love yours. Love yours.
We'd love to hear if you have anything to add to this conversation, any comments, any questions, anything from your experience. Please comment below.
Because we believe the best conversations aren't the ones that are happening here, but the ones that can happen in the comments. So remember, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Talk to you guys soon.